The sky is blue, and all the leaves are green. The sun's as warm as a baked potato. Wait a second. That reminds me of a different story. See, back in 1874, a man by the name of Alfred Packer was hired to guide a large group of about 21 people from Utah to Breckenridge. They stopped at a camp of Utes. 5 of them accompanied Packer up into the mountains after that. They disappeared in about, a little over 60 days later. Only Packer himself emerged, looking a little bit more fit than he should have, and, having money and possessions of the missing folk. He told a story about how he got separated from the others, and how he survived on berries and rabbits. Yeah, people were obviously very suspicious of that story. They didn't really have any evidence until, his companions' bodies were found along the trail. He then changed his story and said that one of the companions by the name of Shannon Bell had gone crazy and murdered his companions and started to eat them. And that when Packer himself returned from looking for the trail, Bell tried to kill him as well, and he killed Bell in self-defense. He did admit to resorting to cannibalism after a few days. He was tried and convicted of a single count of murder. A few years later, that conviction was overturned because of a reporter by the name of Polly Pry from the Denver Post to uncover the fact that he was convicted under the wrong laws. You see, Colorado changed from a territory to a state in 1876, and, he was convicted under the wrong laws. At that point, the sentence of hanging was overturned. He was then retried under 5 counts of manslaughter and convicted. He was then paroled in 1901 and then worked as a security guard at the post itself. In his later years, he lived here in Littleton and, was said to have told stories about the Old West to all the little kids. He was described as being a kind man. His very last words were of his innocence. And he was buried right here in downtown Littleton with military honors. He was a Union soldier until he was discharged in 1863 because he had epilepsy. The only man ever convicted of any charge related to cannibalism in the United States. And I do absolutely believe in his innocence. Years later, in the 1990s, his story was made famous yet again by a little duo that many of you probably heard of, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They made a little movie called Cannibal the Musical. It still definitely holds up today, and I highly recommend watching it. I think they did get a lot of the facts of that story correct. And they turned, a tragedy into an actual musical comedy, which is kind of difficult to do. But I thought I'd just start off the video here before moving on to a different location. It seemed fitting to actually include it in some of these Colorado stories, but I didn't quite have a full video plan for it. Instead, what do you say we head up to Estes Park? It's been a little while. and I've always wanted to transition from one cemetery to another. Yeah, this one is out here at the Stanley Hotel at Estes Park. I figured, hey, let's head up another mountain and start looking for more spring. So why don't you come along and let's see what we can see. Yeah, I bet you were starting to think I wasn't going to say it. But this is the real start of the video, and wait a minute. Okay, somebody apparently is trying to make some chicken come back to life by putting it in the pet cemetery. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but that was a different Stephen King movie. Yeah, the Stanley Hotel is the hotel that inspired The Shining. In fact, that's the balcony where Stephen King smoked a cigarette after a very intense nightmare about the sprinkler systems in the hotel trying to murder his child. He looked off into the night and came up with pretty much the entire synopsis for The Shining. Yeah, but today, there's a whole lot of construction. In fact, I'm pretty sure there used to be a former pool around here. Well, a covered up pool that at least had a building attached to it. I have some previous videos from around here. I'll post it in the description. Yeah, this is one of those times that I wish I'd saved some old footage. But when I pulled in today, I was greeted with, well, quite a bit. I have no idea what they're working on, but it's fairly extensive. It goes quite a bit around the entire property. Yeah, they're even doing quite a bit of extensive work out in the back. Yeah, the construction is quite extensive. Oh, wow. They are even renovating inside of the ballroom that was actually used as the ballroom in the Shining miniseries. Not the movie. The movie was not filmed here. Yeah, the actual movie that was filmed here is Dumb and Dumber. And oddly enough, that ballroom is right underneath the infamous Stephen King room. An area of the hotel that is said to be haunted after an explosion that did not kill a person. Yeah, back in 1911, the head chambermaid lit the lamp in room 217, and, well, there was an explosion. She did survive that explosion, and, well, she was well taken care of by F.O. Stanley. But when she died, it's said that she started to haunt that room. Here's a photo of inside of that room, by the way. I would love to stay there, but it's booked out the moment it becomes available. Good luck even getting on the waiting list. Oh, and rumor has it, right in there was the actual room where the bar was, where Stephen King was told his money is no good here. And he got very drunk before having that nightmare. Yeah, that wasn't because they knew him. He was, little known at the time. It was because they had actually closed up the day before. He showed up the day after the season and they just let him stay anyway. They didn't want to redo the books just for one guy. So they broke into their private reserve and just got drunk and celebrated the end of the season with him. And here's a quick look at the old music room, which is now a wine bar. But now let's hope this elevator has nothing to do with the Twilight Zone and head on in. I think I'm trying to push one, right? Please don't play the Twilight Zone music. Okay. Ooh. Hey, look, an old handle. Alright. I think it's about time to start heading back down to Estes Park and see what's down in town. I also could probably use a little lunch out there. A town that was not quite built on rock and roll. A town right down the hill from where we just were. And all of this is right at the border of Rocky Mountain National Park. Yeah, fun fact. Rocky Mountain National Park is the inspiration for the upcoming Piston Peak, aka the Cars attraction, out at Walt Disney World. In order to build that and Villains Land, they had to permanently close the rivers of America. But still sitting just off the river is a very haunted residence. Coincidence? Yeah, almost definitely. But it's still kind of fun to point out. Today, well, we are here. I know that really doesn't tell you much. And while we are here, make sure that you climb at your own risk. Let's go ahead, cross the river, and head towards the river walk. I'm a little bit hungry. And maybe I could go for some shopping. Well, at least some window shopping. It's a beautiful day for a walk. Oh, hell. This is how horror movies start, isn't it? But what the hell. Let's go. Ooh. Okay, maybe this is the fun way. Yeah, especially considering it's not only all ages, but all abilities. I guess that includes me. Just a couple notes. Why not? Okay, I have no idea what I'm playing. I am not musically inclined. I'm inclined to listen to it. But yeah, we have a few of these around. Oh wow, okay, that one's pretty loud. And yeah, so if you have, well, 3 of you, you could probably make some pretty good music over here. Apparently they were put here in 2016. And just a little bit more fun. There's a whole bunch of hand-painted tiles right before you cross under the road. With quite a few messages on them. I highly recommend you come on down here and check some of these out. And remember that, well, every message is important. And always remember to take a little time out to look at the little things. Okay, and where is Ed's? Yeah, I could stay here looking at these forever, but I'm just at the beginning of my walk. Let's go ahead and head through this tunnel. And I actually think I see some more tiles on the other side. And apparently these tiles were painted back in 2005 and 2006. At least according to this plaque, although I did see a few dated a bit later. But here's a quick glance at the other side of the road. And again, there are quite a few important messages. And quite a bit of just beautiful art. Make sure you stop and take a little bit of a look. Let's go ahead and keep on walking. As we do, Remember, we are in bear country, and not to be confused with bayou country or critter country or any other place in Disney. Because this place actually has a few benches. Yeah, even though in looking around you probably still do have to eat on trash cans. I don't see any tables. But what I do see is the other side of the musical instruments. Well, if we did it on one side, we gotta do it on the other. Yeah, first let's try this one. Oh, actually, I kind of like that tone. Okay, that's a little flat. Maybe if I try the other. Yeah, that one's okay. So my verdict is, well, half of that rack of ribs was pretty good. So let's try the big ones. Okay, right away, these are much larger. And oh, okay. Yeah, much deeper. Yeah, I wonder if that sound would actually carry from one side of the bridge to the other. It is a little bit of a distance from one side all the way to the other. It might actually carry on a, well, if the wind is just right. Or if not, you could just use technology to stream to each other and just, yeah, have a little fun together. That might be interesting. I wonder if anyone's done it. But, like I said, I'm trying to find myself some food. And instead, I just keep getting stopped by things. Oh, this one has quite a selection of books. Ooh, including one on Photoshop filters. And it's all dedicated in memory to Bria. Now it's time for everyone to dismount, and let's keep walking. Yeah, we've reached a shop called Colorado Games, and, well, I assume since it's Colorado Games, they wouldn't sell Lorcana, right? Well, at least there are a few small signs of spring around, even if they're not growing out in nature. And I'm not sure if they're all entirely natural. Well, maybe not these. Oh, wait 1 second. Is this the place where you can live forever? I think I might have just found lunch. Alright, you don't have to be so forceful about it. Okay, I think I'm gonna have a quick cocktail, as well as some tacos. And fast forward just a little bit of time, that was a delicious lunch. I had some beef barbacoa tacos with some black beans and rice. It was pretty good. It was much better when I added a little bit of the hot sauce that was on the table. In addition, I also had an avocado margarita. Everything was delicious. In fact, the entire place had some beautiful ambiance. I love the decor. The only thing I wish is that the patio had been open. It's quite a lovely day out today. Now let's burn off some of those calories and continue our walk down the river. And what a beautiful day it is for it. You know, if my daughter was here, she'd make sure I stopped by Rocket Fizz. But today I'm not going to. Yeah, if I do consume more calories, it's, well, it's not going to be from a candy shop. But I might stop for an adult beverage a little bit later on. We'll see what comes up. We'll just keep on walking along, looking at the sights, and see what comes up. You know, I'm assuming this whole walk looks a lot more full during the week. I'm out here on a Monday. Kind kind of like it when there's less people around, at least for filming. Yeah, besides with my work schedule, I'm working, well, Fridays through Sundays, guaranteed. So everything I do has to be in the middle of the week from here on out. So although I'm going to miss out on a few summer activities, I'm still going to be able to get out and enjoy myself. Yeah, this summer it's time to go out and discover what kind of fun there is midweek. Yeah, because not everyone can get out during the hustle and bustle of the weekend. Let's figure out what the rest of the week has in store. And those little things aren't really going anywhere, are they? Especially if you just know where to look. And those little spots of nature, well, they aren't going anywhere either. At least I hope not. Yeah, and one of these days I need to go and hit up some of the towns on the way up here. I've never actually stopped at Lyons or any of those other towns. I gotta keep on exploring. Because as beautiful as it is out here, I've been here quite a few times. The first was about a year ago for Frozen Dead Guy days. That was quite fun. Unfortunately, I did miss it this year. And apparently they also have a Bigfoot festival every year. Even though Bigfoot, I don't believe has ever been seen in these mountains. Yeah, but that's not really the point, is it? Yeah, not as long as you're enjoying yourself and, well, enjoying all of this. Yeah, even if you're not shopping much at the stores, well, this walk is absolutely worth the drive. Even if not everything is open this time of year. Last time I was here, there was somebody playing music up there. They were selling drinks out of there. It was a fun time. I'm assuming it'll be back. It's just a little bit too early. I'm going to have to remember to come back sometime during the summer. And here we find the historic Park Theater playing that very historic movie, Super Mario. Oh, I wonder where Donald's spot is. Someday I will be up here to do the ghost tour, but not today. And right across the street from there is a place called Pines and Cones, but not pine cones. Nah, this is an ice cream shop. In fact, there are quite a few ice cream shops around here. Well, it looks somewhat like poo. Well, at least it's a bear. Well, I would, but I might get splinters. Well, I was going to go inside. I guess not. Okay, we'll see about a cocktail on the way back. We will not be having the Rocky Mountain oysters. But like I said, we'll see about a cocktail maybe on the way back. But first, apparently I'm filled with construction updates lately. Now, I have no idea what they're building over here, but it's right next to the Stanley Chocolate Factory. Which, after all this time, looks like it may be open. Oh, wow. Apparently it is. Oh, this place looks awesome. Okay, I'm going to definitely take a quick look around. I don't think I could go all the way upstairs. At least not today. They might offer tours, but I'm not gonna do that right now. Actually, they do have tours. However, it's well past 10:30, so I'm pretty sure they're done for the day. And apparently there's a carousel coming soon. Oh, just being in this one room makes me want some chocolate. A little bit further in is no different. wow, they even have a train up there. Oh yeah, I'm definitely walking out of here with some chocolate. Yeah, I take back everything I said about not eating sweets today. Okay, probably won't be getting one of these, but I'm definitely getting something. Yeah, I definitely have to come back here and do that tour. Okay, so I got a dark chocolate caramel truffle, and I have no idea what this purple one is, but I'm gonna try it first. Yeah, how could I not? Cheers. Mmm. Okay. Yeah, whatever's in there is kind of caramelly and a little bit coconutty, but it is delicious. Now it's time for that truffle. Cheers. Again, absolutely delicious. Yeah, I'm absolutely glad I stopped in here. You know, every single time I've been up here, this place has been under construction. I'm glad it's finally open. Yeah, do not miss out on this place. You know, now that I think about it, this could very well be the carousel. I guess only time will tell. Or I could Google it, but what's the fun in that? And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, looks a lot like last Christmas anyway. But surprisingly, despite the fact that it looks like this on the day that I'm filming, between now and the day that I'm planning on uploading, we might actually be getting a little bit of snow. Time will tell on that one. Yeah, I'll believe that one when it happens. But if it does snow and you want to put up your tree, well, you know where to get decorations year-round. Because there are quite a few Christmas shops in this town. Also, somebody should have told all these cars that they couldn't park here. Oh well. Yeah, but regardless of that sign, I know they do charge for parking during the regular season. Currently, this is considered the off-season, so parking is free. Man, Christmas is everywhere out here. Even in the off-season, well, they're still making taffy. Oh, well, now this store rocks. Hey, it looks like I found the site of the first school. And now it's a shop that sells trinkets. Very nice. At least the building is still being used for something. And here's a nice place where you can get some Old West portraits. And you can even get them of your dog. Before I circle on back, let's go ahead and try some of that happy hour. Another place with some beautiful atmosphere. They do have some interesting drinks on the menu, including a green mustard martini. But I decided to go with the altitude punch. And here is that altitude punch. And cheers. Ooh. Okay, this is very good. You can really taste the berries in here. Oh, this is delicious. Cheers. Yeah, it's happy hour right now, so this cocktail is $11, otherwise it's $13 normally. Yeah, I tried to order that mustard martini. The bartender said it tastes like pickles, so I decided to skip it. It's a great little bar, but let's keep on walking. Oh wow, they really have some good whiskeys. And that was a very nice little bar and a very delicious drink. But now the sun's starting to head down and Well, shadows are starting to get long. I think I should start heading back in the direction of the car anyway. Still want to walk off that last cocktail, because there's still even a little bit more Christmas to see. Even if some of that Christmas is, well, definitely Halloween. Finally, Christmas shop that embraces both. Although I am going to keep walking, I think it's almost time to start wrapping up the video portion. Even though there's still quite a bit to see out here. But that's just all the more reason to come back yet again. Oh, looks like we found a little buddy over here. Yeah, I'm gonna go for just a little bit of a walk off camera. Yeah, but as for this video itself, well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I think it's getting just about long enough. And please make sure to spread a little extra kindness around. Everybody out there could use it these days. Also make sure you like, subscribe, all that other fun YouTube stuff. And make sure to click that bell notification, because although I try to post every week, never really know when that next one's gonna hit. Yeah, but until next time, make sure you stop, look around at some of the small things, and maybe try to take a little break out and try to get around some nature. The world around us is truly a beautiful place sometimes. So, till next time. Good night, everyone.